Are concentration levels of BTX, benzene, toluene, and xylene in women's beauty salon dangerous? The objective of this study was to measure benzene, toluene, and xylene in 20 different women's beauty salons in Lebanon, using a spectrophotometer. Measurements are taken inside and outside the salon. We made sure to record number of employees, number and type of machines, and the temperature inside the salon. Volatile organic compounds, VOCs, are compounds with low boiling points and extreme readiness to vaporize. They are released from everyday consumer products such as hair sprayers. VOC can be dangerous if inhaled in large concentrations over a long period of time and can contribute to the formation of ground-level ozone. One type of VOCs is BTX, benzene, toluene, and xylene, aromatic hydrocarbons which have strong absorbance in the UV range. When VOCs are released into the atmosphere, they react with nitrogen oxide to create ozone molecules with the help of UV radiation from the sun. Tropospheric ozone is harmful to breath, damages vegetation, and creates urban smog. We used a spectrophotometer to take concentration levels of BTX in salons. A spectrophotometry is a method to measure how much a chemical substance absorbs light by measuring the intensity of light as a beam of light passes through the sample solution. The basic principle is that each compound absorbs or transmits light over a certain range of wavelength. The maximum absorbance wavelength for benzene is 255 nanometers, 242 for toluene, and 260 for xylene. UV light having a wavelength from 160 to 400 nanometers is emitted by the deuterium lamp. Light travels inside the spectrophotometer until it hits the concave mirror. Rotate it at a specific angle to capture the highest intensity of light. Then, it is reflected to the gratings, which consist of small grooves. Gratings diffract light. They only allow a specific wavelength, which is the wavelength of maximum absorbance, to pass and nothing else by rotating it to a specific angle. Higher number of grooves gives higher differentiation between small wavelengths. Then light hits a second concave mirror and gets reflected to the long path cell. Air from the salon enters the cell from one end and the beam of light reflected from the gratings enters from the other end. Inside the long path cell, the beam of light bounces between three mirrors, increasing the distance traveled by the beam of light, which means there will be more interaction with BTX. In other words, BTX absorbs some of the UV light inside the long path cell. Then the beam of light hits the detector, which means its intensity, and converts light into proportional electrical signal read by the computer. We calculated the intensity of light before introducing air from the salon and after introducing air. The intensities captured by the CCD detector differed. Measuring log I0 over I, which is the intensity before introducing air and after introducing air, gives us the absorption. We can know epsilon because we chose the wavelength inside the long path cell. B is the path length that we know from the long path cell we used. Now, from Beer's law, we can calculate the concentration levels of each of the three compounds. The indoor to outdoor concentration ratio was found to be 2.03 for benzene, 1.75 for toluene, 2.43 xylene. And the expected concentrations were 0.028 for benzene, milligram per kilogram per day, 1.44 for toluene, and 0.03 for xylene. Obtained concentrations depend on ventilation systems, temperature, number of working hours, number of machines, and sprayers used. Toluene and benzene concentrations are expected to be affected by the number of hair dyeing treatments product, whereas xylene concentration is expected to be affected by the number of hair styling machines and products. Toluene and xylene have negligible non-carcinogenic risks, whereas benzene concentration is expected to exceed the limits imposed by USEPA, NIOSH, OSHA, and World Health Organization for acceptable concentration levels. A cancer risk is possible for the workers. It is preferable to minimize usage of products emitting benzene. Also, Each salon should have a specific ventilation system required to minimize the risk on workers.